Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica Montoya. I'm the Activity Director for Transfer Student Success at CSU Channel Islands. We're here partly with some of the peer mentors from our PEAK program, Peer Education and Equity Program. We're housed within the SASE Department, Student Academic Success and Equity Initiatives. So joining me today are two peer mentors that are within our program. And one highlight for today's recording is that we're actually all sociology majors, and we were all previously, or they are currently, transfer students. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you. Kat, why don't we start with you? What is your name and your major and your year at CSUCI?
Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Parada, and I am a double major in sociology and Chicanic studies. And this is my last semester at CI, so I'm a graduating senior.
And Josue?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Josue Ordaz. My major is sociology, and I am a senior on my last semester.
Oh, so close to the both of you. I'm so excited for you both. So I appreciate hearing all of your names. Maybe just tell us a little bit about your family, how you ended up at CSUCI. Maybe, Kat, let's start with you. How did you end up here at CSUCI, and tell us a little bit more about your family?
I always say, I got here like the panzazo. I didn't plan on going to CI. I actually was advised not to go to CI because they told me that it was too hard to get in. But my parents were always super supportive and super, I guess, on board with anything that I wanted. I am the child of two Salvadoran immigrants, the first one of three. Both of my siblings are also striving for higher education. I'm just the first in a long line to come. I'm glad I chose CI. I don't think that I would have been afforded the opportunities that I have been at CI if I had gone to somewhere else, especially since CI is a Hispanic serving institution.
Thanks, Kat. Josue, maybe share a little bit with us about your family, how you ended up at CI.
I live in a city next to Channel Islands, which is Oxnard, California. And, well, right after high school, I wasn't sure of what was I going to do in my life. I mean, I kind of wanted to go to school, but I wasn't sure of what I was going to go into. So my family, my dad was like, look, it's either you go to school or you go to work and you help me pay with the bills and stuff like that. So I'm just like, nah, I don't. Like, I rather take it the easier route and go to school, you know. So next thing you know, I'm already 21, 22, and I get available to transfer, and I was looking into schools that were close by since I was already 22, so I didn't want to go out of my house to continue my higher ed. So that's why I chose Channel Islands, since it was I can commute within 20 minutes from my house.
So maybe share just a little bit as for both of you. What was your experience like when you actually transferred? Kat, I know you came from Victorville, which is a little bit further. What was your experience like when you transferred?
I think, well, my first day on campus was my first day in Camarillo. It was my first day of classes. So I just kind of ran with it, which is kind of everything that I do is just spur of the moment. I'm going to go with it because the opportunity is in front of me. I think it was kind of a shock for me just because I had never been in an environment that was so unobtainable to me before. I had never thought that I was going to be able to, I guess, navigate the educational pipeline the way that I did. Statistically, I'm not supposed to. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Oh, you guys always do this to me. You guys always make me cry. But like I said before, it was just kind of spur of the moment. I'm just going to go because I got accepted. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for me. So I think it was a combination of shock. Okay, I'm really here. And then I think just gratitude that I made it.
What about for you, Josue?
When I transferred to CSUCI, I was in a state of mindset where all I wanted to do was achieve, right? So I wanted to go in there and put my hardest work into my classes and finish as fast as I could. As I was already gonna be 23, I wanted to get things done. I can say that with that mindset of mine, I was able to really get stuff done and finish within 2 years.
So on that note, because it sounds like I know you both of you mentioned you're within one semester of graduating, so pretty soon. What would you say is your top tip for students? What should they know about your major? You're coming in as you have to declare to come in as a transfer student. What should they know about being a sociology major? Kat?
I think always turn on your sociological lens, like everywhere. I think like my top, I guess, consejo for like people within the sociology department is take what we're learning and then apply it to what we're living. You're always going to get A's that way because it's the truth. Just always like speak the truth onto that paper that's in front of you.
My advice for sociology students that are transferring into CSUCI is to actually take very serious your readings. And not in community college, you know, you can like float around when not reading like all the material. But at CSUCI, it's gonna be very crucial to read all the material. That way you go to class already knowing what he has going to talk about, and that way the professor could just dissect it for you, and you can already, you know, just put it all together. So yeah, I suggest that they take all the reading serious, because what I learned that CSUCI does is for sociology department, it offers a lot of reading, a lot of just dissecting complex reading. So yeah.
So maybe building off of that a little bit, Josue, you say to take their reading seriously. What's like the first thing they should do when it comes to their reading?
One thing that helped me out was just printing out all the articles out. Once I printed out all the articles out, I was able to write on the side, put side comments, highlighted important subjects, and highlighted. I used two different colors of highlighters. So one I would highlight important information, with the other one I would highlight sections that I needed more of an explanation, you know? So that's one tip I used.
How about you, Kat? Was your experience the same in terms of reading?
I would say when we're looking through databases, look through that abstract. Your abstract's going to tell you everything that you need to know about that article, like if it's empirical data, like if the data set is qualitative or quantitative data. I think too, analyzing specific parts of an article is really key to getting through these readings really fast. It's even something that like professors will tell you sometimes too. I think going through like the methods section, it'll tell you all you need to know. And then yeah, of course, like your findings. Always like those are like the three main points, like the abstract, the methods, and then the findings. Those are like the three that I always go to at first. And then if I need more clarification later on, I can go out and read the whole thing. But to save time, like that's...
Oh, great. I think that last part froze a little bit, but to save time, they should start in those three sections.
Yes, that's always my go-to. And it's helped me a lot. Because we do a lot of reading, like Jose said, a lot of reading.
It's true. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's good reading, though. I mean, some of it really, really opens your mind. Really learn a lot being a sociology major. What about staying on track academically? Any other tips? Like how would they stay on track for anyone coming in, knowing that it's a little bit different at a 4-year? Kat, what do you think?
I could say just turn in everything. The first few weeks of school is not the time to slack off. If anything, you want to make sure you turn in everything in the beginning, so that if at the end you come towards problems where like you can't turn in an assignment or you miss a day or something, you already have all of this good work that you've done before to keep you afloat, so that your grades don't come crashing right at the end, because it sucks having to catch up. Catching up is always like what sucks.
So it's important to start early.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Josue? What do you think about some tips that you would offer or suggest? I mean, you all are seniors, you're about to graduate. What tip would you suggest for staying on track?
What I would recommend is for them to go to an academic advisor early. Go in there and set all your classes up and within those 2 years, because there's a lot of prerequisites that you need. And if you don't get those done, you won't graduate in 2 years. So my advice is to go see an academic advisor. That way they can set up the schedules and not the schedules, but the classes they need in the order and the sequence that CSUCI has it in.
That's a great point, Josue. What would you suggest? How do I go about seeing my academic advisor? How do I even know who it is?
Well, for sure, you could go on my CI, and right there they have like an academic advising tab. And what you can do is you can email them, and then they will let you know who your academic advisor is, and they'll help you out right there. Because most of the times you don't have to see your department advisor. You can just see the regular advisor because they can help you out and with certain stuff too. It all depends on who they set you up with and stuff like that.
And then maybe for either one of you, how do I know when to see my department advisor and when to see a general academic advisor?
All right, so when I first transferred there, when you have orientation, I believe you get to meet your major advisor. So then right there, you know who it is. So they'll give your major advisor will then will like explain all your major classes. But then after that, an academic advisor can help you with meeting certain goals of yours that you want to raise your GPA or help you pick classes for the upper division, general, upper division classes.
How about you, Kat? What's your experience?
Yeah, just echoing what Josue said, anything that has to do with like your major. I can give a scenario. So recently I had trouble getting into like a capstone class, which is the last class that we're taking as seniors in sociology. That's something that I would take up with my major advisor because they're the ones that are in charge of like scheduling all those things. If I want to talk about getting into a class, looking at like the class that I should take to meet a certain requirement outside of my major, say like a biology class, Bio 100, I would go to my academic advisor who would be able to give me more insight on that than my major advisor. So just echoing what Josue said.
I appreciate both of you sharing that. I don't know that people would know that generally. So thanks for sharing that with everyone. I think just one last question for both of you. Since you're so close to graduating, what's been a highlight for you about your undergraduate years? Kat, what would you say? What has been a highlight?
I can go real quick.
Yeah, you can go.
What would you say?
So a highlight throughout my CSU experience, right?
Yeah, just for your whole undergraduate, knowing what you know, you're about to graduate, you're so close to being done. What would you say has been a highlight?
So a highlight I can say, was building a community within CSUCI. At Oxnard College, I was basically just a commuter, like I would just go to class and leave class, And at CSUCI, my first semester, I was kind of the same. But once I started working, I got a job at CSUCI being a peer mentor. Once I became that, I started building networks with a lot of people that are in the same boat as me. And that's what helped me realize that, it doesn't matter how old you are or like what's going on, as long as you dedicate yourself to accomplishing your academic goals, you're going to get them done because nothing can stop you but yourself. So I can say that the highlight was just building networks at CSUCI.
Thank you, Josue. What about you, Kat?
I think conquering spaces that weren't necessarily built with students like us in mind. Like just like coming out on top, even though like the odds are stacked against students like me, students like Josue. I think that's just a big achievement for like the whole community, really.
I appreciate both of you coming and recording with us a little bit today and sharing with future transfer students. We're going to go ahead and stop here. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you also and encourage you to keep going wherever you're at in your undergraduate career. 4-year degree is just around the corner. Thank you.